Hey guys, welcome back again. So today we are finally going to finish off what I didn't get to do in the last video, which was this exhaust. As I mentioned, or actually I don't think I mentioned in that video, but I did mention it in the short. So if you didn't see the short, you can go back and look at it. But essentially what was going on was I didn't do the exhaust because I was missing this 8-inch extension that's needed for this exhaust to work on the G35. Without the extension, it would still fit a 350Z, but because of the longer chassis of the G35, that extension is needed for the exhaust to fit properly. What they did previously was weld in an extension. So what they did was they cut this flange here, put an extension in, and then welded the flange on top. Obviously that doesn't help because the section that I really need to change out is really for these flex pipes that are broken on what is currently on the car. I'll try to throw in like some B-roll or something so you guys can see what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it. But either way, I did find these extensions on eBay. It was cheaper than what I think it would cost to go to a welder and have them, or an exhaust shop and have them weld in that section for me. And then I also don't have to worry about, messed up welds, because the welds that were on this one were pretty sloppy, kind of gross to look at. All right, guys, so this is what I was trying to describe before. So this is where they cut the flange off of where it was connected here, put in a section of pipe and welded it back on. As you can see, these welds are pretty ugly. But either way, the welds and the extension here aren't the issue. The issue is these chewed up flex pipes. So as you can see, they're not in good condition at all, and they are leaking heavily. So we're gonna go ahead, so changing out the entire exhaust, because I do have this exact identical exhaust already. We're just gonna change out this section here to try to fix this leak that we've got going on. So the other night I actually sprayed the bolts down with PV Blaster that you can see over there. So I did a quick bolt check just to see if they were going to give me any issues, and I did get these two out pretty easily. So now I'm going to continue getting the two out from there, and then there are 4 in the midsection here that I've got to get out as well. I'm actually going to start back here rather than the front, because what I don't want to do after looking at it is loosen those two and then have the entire exhaust hanging down on me. So I'll loosen this back here, that way it can sit here on this like W brace, and that way I have some support and it's not just collapsing. So let's start here. So I got these 4 off of the mid pipe section. So next I just got to get the 2 that are left up there in the front. And with that, this should all just drop down. So let's continue there. So the only thing I want to mention as I'm getting through this, I don't know if this is factory spec. It wouldn't make sense if it is, so I'm going to assume whoever did the exhaust did this. But these front flanges have 14mm bolts in them. The 4 that I just took out of the mid pipe had 17. So just something to note if you ever decide to do this. But again, I don't know if that's factory spec or if, obviously this car was owned before me, so who knows. All right, so you can see this thing is nice and loose now. We're gonna go ahead and just yank this out. I'm gonna stand it up next to the Y pipe or H pipe that's coming in and just compare before I bring it down and start bolting that one up. So we got this thing out. As you can see, these welds on here, pretty gross. But yeah, again, they pretty much just cut this flange off of this section and put in a piece of pipe to extend it. So I obviously don't have a welder or welding skills, so I got this extension, and we can see it pretty much did the same thing for us. So next step is going to be to get this thing under there with my gaskets, and I've got a few new bolts, but surprisingly most of the bolts that I took out came out without any issue, as you guys might have seen. So we're gonna reuse most of those. This time around, I'm gonna start from the front and then do the back. Again, just because that W brace, give a better angle here, just because this W brace is doing a good job at kind of supporting it while I'm moving around. So with all the weight down in the front, it's going to be kind of tough to get those up anyway. So let's start up here, get these 4 in, and then we'll move towards the back and get the rest of them in back there. All right guys, so I'm gonna have to go out to the back and start working on that. I can't tighten the front yet because it's not completely aligned, but that's because the weight of the back has it at a weird angle. So I'm gonna head over to the mid pipe and start trying to get those bolts in, start tightening that up a little bit, and then I'll come up to the front, see how it's aligning, and work on tightening it as it gets into a better position. It's hot. We're pretty much done under here. Obviously the biggest thing here was getting this section in to replace those flex pipes that were completely rotten and broken. So I'm hoping with the next start there's no leaks, and the exhaust hopefully sounds better, because, you know, again, I haven't heard this exhaust in its true nature because it's had that pretty big exhaust leak from the flex pipes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and try to see how it sounds and see if I can hear any kind of exhaust leakage from where I just connected that mid pipe through to the back. Kind of get an idea of what's going on. Before we go, let's just do a quick update. As you guys can see, the wheels are all gone. I dropped them off yesterday to my friend John. He's gonna take them apart, redo the lips, and change out the hardware. I got chrome hardware for it, for the wheels, so that's gonna get done. Hopefully I should get those back soon. I won't time them on it. We also went ahead and got some 25 mil spacers there. The wheels in the rear are 11 wide, but with the addition of this over fender, it just still isn't quite enough to bring it to the fitment that I want. So hopefully these work out. We'll see when we get the wheels back and try to dial the fitment in a little bit more. What else we got going on? I think that's about it, guys. Still got some more stuff to do in the interior. Still gotta get these A-pillars fixed up. I don't think they're gonna clean the way I want to, so I'm still debating whether I want to wrap them in the same suede that I did the dashboard in, or if we're going to just spray paint them black. But I'm still kind of debating that. So next time we're here, we're going to be working on getting the diff fluid and the trans fluid drained and filled back up with fresh fluids. I did end up going with Nissan genuine, like OEM trans fluid, because everything that I saw online said that these transmissions tend to be a little picky or act a little weird when you go with anything other than Nissan in the trans. For the diff, we are going to go with the AMSOIL Severe Gear. Again, same research told me that this is kind of the stuff everyone goes with. The diff apparently likes it, so that's what we're going to be doing next time. Until then, guys, again, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you kind of sitting through this. I'm still learning the ropes. I'm definitely still learning this car. But, you know, just sit through with me. Throw your feedback, throw your comments, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. So guys, until next time, peace out and God bless.